Before the maniac starts screaming today, as usual, as he seems he has nothing better to do than scream at you guys, I wanted to address something else, not address it, share it. Share it. It's not address. Address sounds like something was wrong. Address. This is like great news. And you might be able to guess if you watched the reading update I did, because I got a call during the reading update for delivery that showed up. And the delivery that showed up was the edition of my first book. So I am a published author now. That is kind of wonderful. And it is an illustrated book. Here it is. The Old Unicorn. That's what it's called. And that gives you a good vibe about, if you look at that, that gives a pretty good vibe about what you're gonna find inside. And for some of the artwork, and just to show you that it's a little bit more, this is what the back looks like. And you can tell that that's kind of a different type of artwork to this. There was two artists that worked on it, Vic Sventer and Shizulu, and they brought both their own unique style to help tell this story. Let's share it. I'll share like the. Look at the baby unicorn there. Huh? I'll share. Look, this is the first. Look at that. The first two panels. Right, yeah. I want to, and let me show you the second panel. I won't want to share anymore. I would want you to discover it on your own. This is now available in South Africa to purchase at Crest House. The link is in the bio. It should be available on Amazon pretty soon. I will definitely make a note, and so I just want to share this. It looks, I am so happy with how this turned out. Crest House did a great job here. The quality is amazing. I mean, I already love the illustrations. Now seeing them on page, they pop. They look even more amazing. Everybody that worked on this, I'm so grateful, and you should check it out. Pretty fun. But it's in the format of a kid's book, but it's not a kid's book. It's not impossible for a kid to read. It's definitely not. It's even written kind of in that cadence. And you could read it to a kid. I just say read it first before reading it to a kid. Just make sure. But and to give you a little vibe about what we are dealing with here, I'll read you the blurb on the back of the book. But just check that out. Okay? How amazing was that look? That artwork. High above the city, a lonely unicorn waits, lost in memories of a world gone. When his young friends climb a cliff to find him, all grief stirs and a choice must be made. Is it too late for hope? I feel like that blurb really gives a good summation of what this book will be about and what it will be dealing with. I am not a very good, I don't like my emotions. I am very much a suppress your emotions. I felt very emotional when I received this yesterday, and to finally see it and to hold it in my hand is such a joy. To Nate, to Kelly from Crest House, and anybody else at Crest House that helped out with the behind the scene that I don't even know. Thank you so much. I cannot believe it. This is a dream come true, and it's unbelievable how beautiful this looks and the quality of it. It's something special. Truly, thank you. Now, back to the madman. I know some of you are thinking I'm going soft on you. Trust me, I'll never go soft on you. I will never go soft on you. Ladies and gentlemen, miscreants, mollifiers, Don't mind it, I am on a good mood. Welcome to the show. It is that time of the month again. We need to do a TBR for June. Yes, I have to share with you what I'm gonna read in the month of June, what I'm gonna educate you about. Huh? You need your curriculum, and I'll give you the curriculum for the next month. If sometimes it looks like I'm smiling or I'm in a good mood, no, I'm not. I'm an educator. I'm a lecturer. I'm here to teach you. Don't get mistaken. Don't get mistaken for a second. But let's not waste any time. Let's get into this. Let's keep the ball rolling. It's a TBR. It doesn't need to be 5 hours long. I would prefer it to be 5 hours long so that I can give you more information and teach you more, but I know attention, not that great. You don't have great attention. Let's move on. First, as always, we will do what? The comics and manga that I will be reading in the month of May. And surprise, we'll start with a manga. Surprise, no, none of you saw this coming. None of you knew that I was going to read this. Everybody knew it. Vinland Saga, Book 4. I just love it. And where the third book ended, can't wait to get to the fourth book. So I can't read it back because it's like book 4 in the series. Can't want to do spoilers. I'll just read this one thing that is written in the book. A king is born. A king is born. That gives you the vibe, right? That gives you the vibe, what you can expect. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be always, as also Makoto Yukamura. Why I always forget to say his name. Excited. From here we go to my first comic read of the month. And this one is a little different. This one you wouldn't have seen coming, except for I probably put it on a thumbnail, so I did spoil it. So the one thing that you wouldn't have seen coming, you saw on a thumbnail. So there's no surprises for this section. But in any case, it's Lazarus Volume 2 by, okay, they just put their surnames on. Ruka, Lark, and Arkas. Let me get it. Written by Greg Ruka, art by Michael Lark, with Brian Level. That the Brian Level is written in small. That's why my voice went low. Colors by Senti Arkas. So that's what Arkas did. I read the first volume of Lazarus last year, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fascinating world, interesting, and I wanted to get back to it. I wanted to really see. This was a sci-fi world I kind of liked, the dystopian sci-fi future. That seemed very interesting to me, and I wanted to get more. And I really enjoyed the characters, like just really good storytelling. World I want to know more about. So yeah, that is what it is. So it's like the second in a thing. It's like it's a dystopian. It's like it's in the future, but we've turned back into fiefdoms. There's like a Los Angeles fiefdom. There's a Mexico specific one in Mexico. And these guys, and they have like, the Lazarus is like soldiers they have that can be reincarnated, that don't necessarily die, that are like special agent soldiers, like, I would say a special agent, an assassin, everything you need, a badass. So they're called like families. These are the different families. It's kind of like something between the fiefdom and crime families in this dystopian tech future. That's just awesome. Gives like, yeah. I would say it gives like a little bit of Mad Max, but like Mad Max in a very more realistic tone. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait to get back to that. And then the next manga, none of you saw this coming. None of you could have guessed this. Everybody knew. It was gonna be volume 5 of One Piece. So let's do it like that. The one with Usopp screaming like idiot and Luffy screaming like idiots on the front cover. By Ichiro Oda. Do I say that right? Ichiro Oda. Why I'm very excited about volume 5 is because for the first time I'm gonna pass the part that it was like in the middle of where volume 5 is, that I quit the anime. So I'm finally gonna get to past where I was with the anime and get to a lot more stuff I've never read before, I've never experienced before, and that I'm really excited for. That I am really, really excited for. Yeah, it will say on the back. The Boy Who Cried Pirate. Not gonna lie, Usopp's not my favorite character. Let's not get too much into that. Maybe he will become one day. He has potential. But I mean, I went into my reading update this week. Some issues I have. Slight issues. Who am I? Listen, this guy's clearly more talented than I'm ever gonna be. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure people are gonna, yeah, you have issues with that? Look at your book. Look at so. Oh, the book that the guy that pretends to be me wrote, right? Fair enough. Fair enough. I will never pretend that I'm on the level of Oda. I will never pretend that. And that's me saying that. The guy with the glasses, the anonymous librarian saying that. I know I won't be on that level. So, yeah. Even though I'm a once in a, I would say lifetime, once in a millennium, once in an eon type of person. There's not really been anybody as high quality as me that's ever lived. I'm not going to beat Oda at its own game. What Oda does, I mean, that imagination, wild. It's beautiful to see. And after that, big surprise to everybody, I'm going to Saga Volume 5. Yo, this book keeps being heavy. Yeah. Is anybody surprised that it was, again, just like last month, we have Vinland Saga, we have One Piece, and we have Saga. I told you it's going to be this for the foreseeable future, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is. They are good. What am I supposed to do? So yeah, I'm just like repeat, everyone. Fine. Then just skip this part. Then you're always going to miss a little bit. And we'll get to the other stuff. Like, clearly, the other stuff is going to be different stuff. That's where I like, and I'm not reading just series in the books and stuff. that only gets repetitive every second one. Okay, so let's move on from that. Yeah, I couldn't read any of those for you. I couldn't read the back of any of those for you, no? How sad is that? Oh, happy, like it means the show's going faster. So now let's move on to the non-fiction. The thing I'm trying to really get you guys into. I'm trying to get you into non-fiction. It is so hard. You are stubborn. And guys, there's really great non-fiction out there. That's really just great and fun to read. You don't have to go all the serious academic tomb stuff. There's stuff that's very digestible, very entertaining, and will stand next to will surpass most average novels that are very popular. Yeah, I'm throwing shade on fiction. No, I love fiction. I love all reading. I love reading, man. Hey, let's just get to it. My first for the non-fictions that I'll be reading in the month of June. Hollywood on the Veldt by Ted Butter. I read Ted Butter's Daisy the Melker hiding amongst killers in the City of Gold last year. Really enjoyed it. Ted Butter, the way he goes through it, really good. So this one's undertitle is When Movie Mayhem Gripped the City of Gold. Let me read. Let me read the back for you here, so you can get a vibe of what we're gonna get in here. In 1913, a secretive American millionaire. Isn't it always a secretive? It's always a secretive American millionaire if the events are taking place outside of America. But when it's in America, it's like usually like a Russian or a Middle Eastern or a European or an Asian. Yeah. But now it's outside America, so it's an American. Okay. In 1913, a secretive American millionaire who lived on the top floor of a famous Carlton hotel had a crazy idea to make movies in Johannesburg. And not just any movies, but the biggest movies in the world. Huge spectacles with elaborate sets, thousands of extras, and epic storylines. Isidore Salinger, better known as I.W., built a studio on a farm called Killarney, where he set out to challenge a place where he set out. The fact that I'm keeping this on, trying to read this stuff, is a bad idea, but I'm going to do it. I got this far already. Where he set out to challenge a place in America that was in its infancy, Hollywood. The glamour, gossip, and high drama of IW Studio fitted perfectly into a city experiencing an intoxicating golden age. There was as much action on the movie sets as there was on screen. From political intrigue and the clashing of massive egos to public outbursts, fiery judicial inquiries, disasters and death. Disaster and death. I said disasters, it was disaster. Behind this mad enterprise was a maverick, a tycoon, a recluse, a friend of the famed and the connected. Schlesinger could have held his own in California, but he chose as the base the city of gold, and his indomitable ambition saw his Hollywood on the Feldstore. This is the untold story of the rise and fall of the strangest and most unique movie empire ever. Yeah, I believe it was mostly silent movies as well, maybe a little bit of the sound, but yeah. I actually learned a little bit of this. In another life, I did study film and television at university because, and I got a BA degree. Do with that what you want. Hey! But yeah, so we learned rudimentary stuff about this history and about IW Schlesinger. I love the idea of going like really deep into it, learning more. Ted Boerta is an exciting way of writing, so I am really good. I think I'm gonna love this. This is like one of my free, based on movie books with cinema speculation, and another one I'm gonna read later the year that I black line. They're on my must-reads list for this year. So I'm excited for that. Doesn't that sound exciting? It sounds exciting. You better be excited. Okay, let me just say something here. It might look like my stacks are gonna look a little light compared to usual, but the problem is I'm probably gonna need a few days. Listen, don't judge me. I don't want this. No judgment from you guys. Sometimes this happens. I sometimes bit off a bit more than I could chew, and I did it in May. Okay, I'm probably gonna use a couple of days into June, not too much, 5 at most, probably only 3, to finish my my May reads, but also not all my May reads that I plan. We'll get to that. Okay, I was a bit ambitious. My apologies. So now you're gonna see a little bit less. So I'm probably, maybe I'll be reading more than I'm actually putting forth, but listen. I can admit when I made a mistake, and it rarely happens that I do make a mistake. I'm not a man that makes a lot of mistakes. I made a mistake last month. I was a little bit too ambitious for everything I thought I was gonna be able to read. So this is my second non-fiction for the month of June. I'll be reading is The Life of St. Anthony by St. Athanasius of Alexandria that wrote it. They are not the same person. St. Athanasius of Alexandria is not a St. Anthony he was writing about. Translated by H. Ellerson. Now look how big this book is. Boom! It's so thin. It has 44 pages, but okay. In really small writing, so it's like 44 pages, but they put a lot in it. This is actually a reread. I read this a long time ago for a project I had to make in uni. And I finished most of the book, but not quite everything. And I read it like in a day before because I didn't prepare. I had the assignment for a month, but of course I went to start doing the assignment the day before. And don't judge me for that, because that's what all of you doing. And that's why I'm the teacher here. I've made the mistakes already. I'm trying to teach you not to make the mistakes. This was a crazy book. This book. And me putting it on a non-fiction, it's definitely where it belongs, but it's stretching the terminology. What is true about this in this book? There definitely was a St. Anthony. He lived in the desert. He went to the desert. He was very he was one of those that believed you have to live like outside of society to really worship Christianity. It was St. Anthony. He was Christian, right? Christian. What's wild and what I remember and why I want to read this, and this is one of those I would love to see somebody make a movie of this, because there's he's fighting the devil at parts. The devil comes and knocks on his door and talks to him. There's demons that show up. It is wild stuff and interesting stuff, and he is a wild, interesting character. Even let me spoil. I'll spoil this for you. Just to say, he didn't believe in glory and yourself. It was all that. So when he died, he had 3 guys go bury him at a secret place where he didn't know, nobody knows, so that nobody knows where he got buried. And still this day, nobody knows where St. Anthony, I believe nobody has discovered yet, I could be wrong, so that nobody could ever know where he was buried alive. So the people that can't come to worship him, because he saw that that was going to happen, like some of the saints were becoming false idols. Saying, I don't even think they talked about saints then. No, probably did. And he didn't want that. He was really a fascinating guy. He also believed like he only ate because he needed to survive. He was against like in any of these pleasures that like all your pleasures should come from worship. Like, I think there must have been some interesting, maybe a little bit of ergot, maybe some mushrooms there in the desert. I think this guy was seeing some visions by because I don't think that he could have made all this up. But I also don't think, but that it really happened to him. I think there was maybe a little some interesting stuff he was eating that broadened his eye, opened his third eye. It was so good, and I really wanted to read it again and finish it. Oh, exciting stuff. No, it's just a wild story. From what I remember, it's like it's talking with the devil, it's demons, it's crazy stuff, and then just the character, who he was and stuff, like the stuff you actually know for facts. Fascinating guy, and yeah, it was a really compelling book back then to read. And now that I'm more aged and like a little bit more mature, I want to try it again. So that's all I'm gonna put on. I might get something more in nonfiction, but I'm not gonna put it up. I ain't not gonna put it up. I'm not doing. I think I'm like probably overcorrecting this month, but I'm rather gonna overcorrect and do the struggle that I was doing here this month, trying to get everything. So let's move on to the Mundane Fiction. What will I be reading in Mundane Fiction in the month of June? The reason, yeah. There wasn't anything on the back here of St. Anthony, by the way. If you wonder why didn't I read from the back. Hey, now this is where I'm so embarrassed. Last month I said, no, I'm gonna read Heart of Darkness. I'm pretty sure I'll get to Heart of Darkness and finish it. Yeah. Now I have to say I was too ambitious. I couldn't do it. It wasn't really that the Mundane Fiction books was the problem. I could have gotten all of them, but there's a fantasy book I'm chewing on. That's just too big that I should have just added one fantasy book for the whole month, but I decided to put another one in. It's way too ambitious, and yeah, so I won't get Heart of Darkness. But then I will. And this is not just Heart of Darkness, I believe. This one also has Heart of Darkness and the complete Congo Diary. So I'm gonna finish Heart of Darkness, and then I'm gonna. What is the Congo Diary beside? Is it like Notes of the Congo Diary, first notebook, second? Is the Congo Diary a non-fiction? Or is it like, what's going on there? Yeah, this is compelling that I'm showing it around, right? Trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm not going to read it back because I read it last month. You can go back to that if you want to hear me what Heart of Darkness is about if you don't know. So this episode's already a mess now. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So then I have finished that book. Yeah. So there, now I'm getting finally to something new, and we can actually discuss. This River Awakens by Steven Erikson. And we stole it from the Toronto Library. We didn't steal it. They sold it. It was such a journey to get this book to me in South Africa. Wow. My sister had to buy it, the second-hand version, and then bring it to me. But I don't think anybody, it's a second-hand version and it's brand new. Nobody's ever read from this. I can tell. But yes, now, if you don't know, Steven Erikson is my favorite author. And since I finished the Malazan, I tried to get to all of his other stuff and read them. I find this one was the last. There's other stuff as well that I haven't found yet, and I'm not sure if they in what format they are. But of the novels and stuff, this seems to be the last one. And of the ones I actually own, I haven't read it yet. Yeah. So I am excited to read like Erickson writing outside of fantasy and sci-fi, because that's the only versions I've read so far, and into like in the more straightforward. This seems to be a coming of age type tale. So what is this River Awakens about? Well, let's give me it. I know this is out of print, hard to get. Okay, let's give you a little taste of this River Awakens. In the spring of 1971, Owen Brand and his family moved to the riverside town of Middlecross, trying to escape poverty. For 12-year-old Owen, it's the opportunity for a lifetime. He quickly falls in with 3 local boys and forms a strong bond with Jennifer, the rebellious daughter of a violent, alcoholic father. When summer brings release from school, 2 figures preside over the boys' activities: Walter Gripes, the benign old watchman at the yacht club, and Hoxton Fist, a vindictive farmer tormented by his past. Then the boys stumble on a body washed up on the riverbank, and the reverberations of this discovery will result in a cataclysm that envelops them all. Okay, the rest is like published for the first time in the United States from the acclaimed author of the Medicine Book of the Fallen. This River Awakens is a lyrical, tender, and disturbing portrayal of the rite of passage that is both harsh and revelatory. I am excited to read this. First of all, because Erickson is brilliant, and this looks like his take on coming of age. It does sound, when I'm reading the back, I get like the body vibes. But I haven't actually read the body. Shut up. From Stephen King, which Stand By Me is the movie version of it. And I also get like a little bit of like, but the Stephen King telling us like it, like that aspect of like it's not the supernatural parts on the outside, making me really excited to see Erickson's version of that and take from this. I think this is going to be interesting. And this was the first book of him published. I believe so. I could be wrong, but I believe so. I can tell you this. It was published before Gardens of the Moon. It was written after Gardens of the Moon, but it was published before Gardens of the Moon. It was originally published under his name, Stephen Ludland. The other was like a replay to when Erickson became famous as in his pseudonym of Erickson. Sorry. I'm very excited to read this. And speaking of how he was writing, because Gardens of the Moon is already a great, well-written book. How did he do here? Very, very excited, and we are done with the Mundane Fiction. I would say we are going fast, but it feels to me like I'm going fast today, getting through stuff quickly. But the recording on the video said, but maybe it's going faster and there's some stuff I'm gonna cut out. I don't know. Oh, my idiot's gonna cut out that idiot. Wait, I have to put this back on. I can't be here without glasses. You guys looking in my eyes? That's creepy. It's weird, huh? I'm struggling to put on the glasses. Wow, that was unprofessional. Hey, we're done with the Mundane Fiction. So let's move on to the sci-fi and fantasy. And first I will be returning to Solo Leveling Volume 3. I can't even read the back, like in the main, like obviously I was not going to read the whole of the back because it's the volume 3. I can't even read like in the main thing to like entice you to read it, like the quick line, because even that is a spoiler. So I have to hold like this now. Can't wait to get to this. So this is still everything that happens in the show. This is still part of everything that happens in the show. This doesn't pass where the anime has already. But I'm excited to read it. I really enjoyed everything I saw in volume 2 and now developed from volume 1. Want to see where this goes. Really excited. So easy to read, so much fun. And you fly through it. It's like it's written in big letters. You really go. You could read like in an hour. You'll read 50 pages. That's how this is going. Oh, it's going to be exciting. I am excited for this, seeing where it's going, and I'm excited to get through this to get to volume 4 eventually, because that's when I'm gonna pass the anime and get into the show. And then next, it feels like I'm not reading anything to you guys because I can't. Next, I am also going in another series I started earlier the year, and I want to continue. Dune Messiah, and there's some movie coming out. From what I heard, some people saying, Mark's book reviews, that like the movie will likely be adapting this and some of Children of Dune. So I'm thinking maybe I should get Children of Dune on before December when the movie comes out. So I definitely want to go watch that movie. I really enjoy it. I like Dune Part 1 a lot. I really love Dune Part 2. There are stuff that, but it's not as, the book is better. Yes, the book is definitely better. And there's stuff I think like they should have changed from the book, but I mean, they at least the stuff they changed, they did give it, still make it good. They made it good. They took it off, made it good. So I can't complain much. But obviously, since it is Dune Messiah and it is a sequel, I also can't read the back for you. It just says here, this is the line that I can. Dune Messiah is the extraordinary sequel to Dune, the greatest science fiction novel of all time. That is a bold claim, the greatest science fiction of all time. But I kind of agree with them because it's definitely Dune. I read it earlier the year, and it's my favorite science fiction book of all time. And it will be pretty high on my top 10 list. Really excited to go into it. And from what I understand, it's very different. And it's kind of short as well. So, well, yeah. So Mike said like you should really read this in children's together. Well, I'm not going to. Sorry, I'm not going to. But I am excited to get to this. And then maybe, and if it leaves me tempted enough, yeah. And see what else Dude was. The fact that it's very different from the first one, I kind of like the idea of that. Because I read the first one. Give me something more, give me something different. That can also be good, that can be fascinating. Yeah, and then the last of my sci-fi and fantasy books for them that I'll be reading, or I will definitely be reading, in the month of June, it is Aria of the Fallen. It's a novella. It's not really, but this was a special edition. That's why it looks so nice. Silver and purple by Andrea Lariche. I believe his surname is Lariche. South African author Andrea Lariche. I'm excited. Yeah, I'll show you the nice. Yeah, it's also not really anything I can read except for this. There's two things I can read here. It's like small. Oh, but this is, by the way, this beautiful edition is by the Mia Bella Legacy Crate exclusive edition. I think you can't get it anymore. I think the last ones are sold now, and I think they're all only available in South Africa. Never mind. I would show you like. Let me show you the back. Let me see. Is there? Yeah, I'm not even going to show you the covers because it's kind of inappropriate. There's a few art and it's kind of not stuff you can actually show on it. But okay, at the back it says, "For every woman who's been silenced, broken, or burned." Interesting. And then the top here it says, "Some call her death, some call her salvation." I don't know too much about this. Except for like, it's like, I believe it's a powerful being, the lady, and she's lived for a long time and whatever. But I'm just excited to read it. Short, excited, really well done. It's really amazing art in here. But like I said, I can show this one off. So there's definitely romance elements, and I think it's dark romance. Can see So that's like the guy has wings, yeah. But she's also, I believe, paranormal, something, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I don't want to have to censor stuff now. But there's a lot of art in here. It looks like they put in a lot of effort with this special edition. I've not read anything by Andrea Lariche. She's an independent author from South Africa. This will be my South African read for the month of June. I'm excited. It's just a beautiful book. And it's a nice short novella. If I enjoy this, I'll probably get more for stuff. Which is like dark romance stuff, which is not necessarily my main thing, but I don't mind romance. I like romance. I want dark romance that sounds, who wants some nice, normal romance? Some of these dark romances freak me out. On Goodreads, when you see what the people read and they describe what happened and they describe how they enjoyed, man. Book people are the best people. Yeah, no, Goodreads doesn't support that statement to the Mintons. I just want to say, Goodreads does not support your allegation that book people are the best people. When you start saying what book people start just telling you how they feel about stuff, and it's not even when the negative is bad enough, which I hate. Like people just hate on something. Some deserve it, but some don't deserve it, and people just hate randomly. It is when they like the stuff and they tell you what they like, and you're like, ooh, that's unsettling. That is very unsettling. We don't judge here. We don't judge here. I don't judge. I judge you for not paying attention. That's what I judge you for. I judge you for not listening, for not learning. I would rather have you read crazy, weird stuff, and that's so better for me than you're not reading at all, you're not paying attention, you're not listening. But that's it. That was the fantasy and sci-fi. Yeah. So I clearly left myself a lot of leeway here. None of them are really that long. The longest book on here by far is This River Awakens, and that isn't even that crazy long. It's like under 500 pages. So there's a chance I'll get to more stuff, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Then I'll do it. So that's it. What are you planning to read for the month of May? Maybe did I say something and you're like, oh, thank you, lecturer, thank you, educator. I want to pick that up and also read it. Do it. I mean, there's really short reads in here. I made it so easy for you this month. So easy for you to follow along and read at least one of the stuff I'm reading. But will you? Are you going to disappoint me again? Are you going to be a disappointment again? I am not surprised. Just thinking about that, I've just already given up on you. You know what? Yeah. When Old Unicorn comes available, pick that up. Maybe it's 43 pages with like 2 lines on most of the pages. You think that you'll be able to read that? You think you'll be able to read that? Finish that in a fortnight? Maybe. We'll see. Oh, yeah. That's it. Let me go. I want to do some other stuff still. You have to go do. You have to start reading. I have to read. I am the anonymous librarian. You can call me out. If you don't call me at all, it's fine. Send me a little comment, a short comment in front. That'd be nice. Like, subscribe. Why not? You need this is the vegetables you need in your life. You need somebody to teach you. That's why I'm here. Enjoy it. Enjoy reading. And get excited for the month of June. No.